In this presentation, I will cover what e-waste is, some examples of e-waste, and how we can minimize the waste itself. As the name implies, e-waste is electronic waste. This waste comes from electrical and electronic equipment, which we discard because it's either broken, outdated, or we just don't want it anymore. 25 million tons of e-waste are either dumped, recycled, or burned each year. The burning of e-waste can cause severe harm to the environment and all life, because electronic devices are made out of toxic chemicals. Examples of these toxic chemicals used to make these devices are lead, beryllium, PVC, and mercury. These toxins will be released into the atmosphere when chemicals are released due to destruction. Today we have many different electronic devices, and some examples of these e-waste devices we have can be computers, phones, microwaves, etc., which are typical electronics we use daily. There are multiple examples to why e-waste is a problem in today's society. The first example I would like to address is about how companies make devices, like computers for instance, designed for the dump, which means that they make their products easy to break, hard to upgrade, and hard to repair. This can be done by making the electronics very fragile, or make changes to them which forces you to buy new accessories, like a new charger for example, because they decided to change the outlet. Or they can make it harder to change separate parts, so that instead of exchanging the broken part with a new one, you have to change the entire computer. It's all about the money, and if they manage to do this, people will have to buy more products instead of sticking with the ones they already have. Another example is how the e-waste is recycled. An estimated percentage of 15 to 20% of all e-waste gets recycled. That's not a lot. One of the reasons to why this percentage is so low is because it can be very difficult to recycle electronics. When countries don't have a good way to recycle e-waste, they are sent to other countries. Common places to send e-waste is to developing Asian countries, like China for instance. Hong Kong is especially known for illegal exporting of goods, including e-waste. The people working at these operations are not protected in any ways against the toxic chemicals which can be found inside of the e-waste. What the workers do is to sort and dismantle the electronics, and then the worthless leftovers are dumped or burned. When the electronic devices are burned, the people around are affected by the poisonous air. Their bodies will be affected by this by becoming weak, and many even develop respiratory skin problems. There are solutions that can help decrease the amount of electronic waste. The easiest way to do this is to follow 4 R's: reduce, reuse, repair, and recycle. First of all, we can reduce the production of electronic devices by minimizing the demand as buyers. Often we buy more devices than what we need, and also we don't even have to buy a new one always. We just got tired of the old one and want some change. It's also important to reuse electronic equipment. Instead of throwing them away, you can see if you can still use it or them. This will save you both money and waste. If there's a reason to why you can use the device anymore, because something's broken, which makes it not function the way you need it to or want it to. There's a big chance that you can fix the problem by repairing it instead of buying a totally new one. If none of this works and you do need to buy a new one, at least make sure you recycle your e-waste first. There are many places where you can drop off these devices, and many companies have arrangements which makes it possible for you to return it back into the store where you bought it when you're done with it. This leads me to the other solution I would like to address. There is something called extended producer responsibility, which is basically that the companies which makes the electronic equipment have the responsibility to find a way to deal with their e-waste. If all companies would have been able to do this, the e-waste issue would have been remarkably reduced.